Alright, welcome to the Identifying Triangles review. Okay, this will prepare us for identifying what types of triangles are based off of either their sides or their angles. Alright, let's get started. Okay, short review here. So, with this one right here, I want you to go ahead, take a time, go ahead and pause the video, and identify what type of triangle each one of these three are. So for each one, you're going to pick one of the sides and one of the angles. So you'll have two answer choices for each one, just like what we've been practicing. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video right now. Write down your answer choices for each one of these three. On the next slide, then, I will reveal the answers. Okay, this will be good practice for your quiz. Okay, push pause now. Okay, so here we are, your answer choices. Okay, for the first one, your answer choices are acute. Now, it's acute because acute, in order for something to be acute, it has to have all three angles less than 90. And that's definitely what's going on. All three angles are less than 90, so it's acute. Equilateral, we know it's equilateral. Equal means all three sides are the same. And I can identify that because every side has one tick mark on it. So, acute, equilateral. All right, moving over to the right. Let's go over here. All right, obtuse. So why is it obtuse? It's obtuse because it has one angle that is greater than 90. So, this one's less than 90, this one's less, but this one right here, because that's greater than 90, that makes it obtuse. Okay? All right, moving on, scalene. Why is it scalene? Scalene, by definition, means all three sides are of different lengths, and I can tell that because I have one tick mark, two tick marks, and three tick marks. So they are all labeled differently, meaning that this is a scalene triangle. Okay, bottom one down here. Since we have the little box in the bottom corner, that means that you have a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angles in a triangle means that you're going to categorize it as a right triangle. Okay, then I know it's isosceles because isosceles means I have two sides that are the same. Two sides right here, I have a one tick mark and a one tick mark telling me that those are the same. There's no marking on this side, meaning that it is a different length. So those are the labels for each of those. Make sure that you can do this correctly. All right, let's move on. Let's go ahead and work some triangles out and label them. Okay, first one here. So, our biggest thing we have to remember when we do triangles is how many degrees are inside a triangle. Okay, so I want you to write down on a piece of paper right now how many degrees you think are on the inside of a triangle. Okay, hopefully right now you wrote down 180 degrees. Okay, because if we don't know that, then we're going to struggle with getting these problems correct. Okay, now I want you to go ahead with that knowledge and go ahead and try and solve this triangle here. Okay, so you only have one missing angle, so go ahead and try and solve for x right now. Pause the video. When you come back, I will solve it for you. Okay, so here we go. With this, we have three blank angles we are going to add together. And that is going to equal 180 degrees. Okay, my first empty blank here, that's going to belong to this square, which we said squares in math mean 90 degrees. So I have 90 degrees. I have x here, so I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to leave it as that. And then I have 42. So we'll go ahead and write 42 in here. Okay, now this is just like solving problems like we have done. Combine like terms. So I have 90 and I have 42. So let's go ahead and combine them together. Both are positive, so same signs, find the sum. 90 plus 42, you get 132. Bring down your plus x and bring down the 180. Okay, now we're just going to solve this problem. Right now, what do I have being added or subtracted to the variable? Well, I have this good old positive 132. I'm going to get rid of that by subtracting 132. There you go. So now I'm left with my x equals 180 minus 32. Do the math, you end up with 48 degrees. Okay, so there's your missing angle. I could go back and check my work by adding up all my angles and making sure that they come to 180 degrees. Whoop, that was goofy. Okay, so let's do that. 90 plus 42 plus 48. So when I add them all together, I do, in fact, get 180. So that tells me that I got it right. Now we cannot forget to go ahead and identify what type of triangle we have here. I see that we have a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle automatically tells me that this is going to be a right triangle. And I did not see any identifying marks on here. Okay, so then I would assume that they were all different. But that's a horrible assumption. What if I labeled it this way? Okay, which would be accurate for this. So with that being the case, I then could identify that this would be a scalene. Boo, Mr. Kuntzman. You should have labeled it ahead of time. All right, let's move on. All right, for our final triangle here, we have a bunch of variables with coefficients and a constant here. So I want you to go ahead and take a wild stab at it. See if you can't go ahead and solve it. Again, same things. I want you to solve for x. Then I want you to solve for the angles. Then go ahead and identify if it's like a scalene, obtuse, equilateral. Label it all for me. All right, here we go. Go ahead and push pause. Have at it. All right, so first things first, I know that there are 3 angles here that when you add them up, they equal 180 degrees. Okay, so let's put them in. So I have 2x plus 2x plus x minus 15. Okay, add my x's together and end up with 5x minus 15 equals 180. Okay, undo the subtraction by adding. Okay, they're gone. You have 5x equals 195. Divide both sides by 5. And you get x equals 39 degrees. Okay, so that's x. That's the first part I asked of you to do. Now go ahead and plug those into your angles so you can figure out what they are. Okay, so plug in 39 for the x, so you get 2 times 39, and you get 78 degrees. If that one's 78, then automatically, you know, this one's 78. Okay, now I'm going to take my 39 and plug it in up here for x. So 39, then minus 15. 39 minus 15, and you get 24 degrees. Okay, go ahead and make sure you're correct. Add up your answers. 78 plus 78 plus 24. And you do, in fact, get 180 degrees. Perfect, so I got my angles correct. All right, next part. I'm going to clear off some space here. Keep going. That didn't clear. There we go. Now, knowing that my angles are 78, 78, and 24, and I have a squeaky dog. Okay, now I can go ahead and say, if I know that these 2 angles are equal, I also know that these 2 sides are equal. Okay, so with that being the case, I can then say, because I have 2 sides that are equal, it's an isosceles triangle. And Being that these are all less than 90 degrees, it is an acute triangle. Guys, if you got this one correct, then you are doing well. I anticipate you'll do well on the quiz. Okay, definitely a good challenge problem I gave you here, but through challenges we learn. So, all right, guys, ask any questions you have, shoot them to me on Edmodo, and I'll be here to help. All right, happy studying. See you Monday.